This review that I'm doing, it's for my Air Arms S400 Classic and the GinB custom stock number 7, the FT number 7. This particular stock is the same, exactly the same as the stock that Ghostmaker has got on his BSA Scorpion. On Ghostmaker's stock, he has got a single billet of material that actually operates the adjustment of the hamster, whereas on mine there is two like guide rods and 2 screws there to actually adjust it. I think his has still got 2 screws, but it's 1 billet of material, whereas the one on mine is 2 rods. It's a 2 rod system, but other than that it's essentially the same. The wood used for it is the dark wood sonal kembang. I think I've got the pronunciation right, but instead of going for a lacquer finish, I went for an oiled finish. The principal reason of why I went for the oiled finish is because it's essentially, I'm going to be using this gun for HFT. It could get a few knocks and scratches, bumps and one thing another, and it's far easier to repair the stock when it is just been oiled rather than being lacquered. You know, if there's a dent, you can just quite simply, with the aid of a damp cloth and an iron, bring the dent back out to the surface, or indeed any scratches can be easily removed by applying more oil. The actual manufacturer and the finished product of the woodwork is very good. It is finished to a very high standard. The rifle itself, the actual gun itself, fits into there very snugly. On the stock they have inset a couple of pieces of aluminium, they look like to me. I'm pretty sure it's aluminium. One being right here. Yeah, you may be able to see that, but I'll show you some close-up shots a little bit later. One being right here on the fore end of the stock, and the other being right here at the bottom of the pistol grip as such. The pistol grip is nearly 90 degrees, which is what I prefer. It's a thumb hole type stock, which yet again I prefer. But it's also got the availability to put your thumb in the more vertical position, which it is adjustable on the cheek piece. It's got an adjustable cheek piece here, adjustable in height. It's got an adjustable butt pad as well, which is one of the most important things, along with the cheek riser as such. And it's got an adjustable hamster, both in depth, and it's actually got movement forwards and backwards of some around about 2.5 inches, which is very useful indeed. The overall finish of the stock is very nice. I really love the job they've done with this. The overall finish is very good. With the oil finish, it's a lovely sort of satin finish there, which I do like. I have one reservation with regards to this stock. It is only a minor reservation, should I say, a minor reservation, but it is something that did give me a little bit of concern in the first place. The Air Arms S400, the actual trigger guard itself on the original rifle has got a screw in there which activates a spring for the actual the pressure of the trigger. Now, when you put it into another stock, obviously you have to take that trigger guard off and replace it with a shortened version, shall we say, that enables it to fit in this type of stock. Now, GinB did do that. At the same time, it all came in as part price for the stock, but I must admit I wasn't that impressed with the quality of that machined aluminium part. When I first got it, and had a look at that part. It wasn't finished very well. It was hand filed, not to a very high standard. Now, many years ago, I've got a background in fine limit engineering, and I know how you can make these parts, and you can make them look very, very good indeed, even if you are totally hand finishing them as a fitter. This particular part is a combination. It's been made by a combination of machining and of hand finishing by hand with a file. Now, what I did find was not only did it not look that fantastic, but it also didn't fit anywhere near as snugly as what the original trigger guard did. So it was under a little bit of tension when I first tried to fit it. I then got out some needle files, just filed them a little bit, which enabled me to fit it adequately with no tension on the bolts whatsoever. When I did actually fit it, it was, yet again, it was slightly out of centre. Yet again, it was only 0.2 off of centre, but when, you know, with these things, it doubles itself, because it doubles itself when it's put onto the action, and you notice a lip on one side and an undercut on the other. I know that's not too much of a problem, but I tend to be a perfectionist with these type of things, and I do like things to fit absolutely perfectly. You know, anything that comes from the manufacturer is finished so well from Air Arms themselves, that you tend to think any add-on products from a custom stock makers is going to be the same sort of quality, and sadly it wasn't. I did contact GinB and spoke to Andrea there, well, not spoke to her, but emailed her, and she sent me an email back after I expressed my concerns, putting down all the dimensions and everything, saying that these are a handmade item and that's the best that they can do. Well, okay, maybe because I come from a fine limit engineering background, I don't think that's good enough personally, but okay, that's what they do. I'm not going to knock down their product of what they do like that. It's, you know, if that's it, they deem that as acceptable, then fine. But I did explain to her that I would be doing a review on the stock, and obviously that forms part of it. And if that's her answer, then you know, if you was giving the whole thing something between 1 and 5 stars. On that particular part, I could only give 2 to 3 stars. The actual stock and the rest of it, I would indeed give 5 stars, but you know, that would drag it down to overall probably a 4-star product. Aesthetically, the stock looks fantastic. It comes with a nice little silver plate there with a GinB logo on it. Okay, they're promoting their product as such. Overall, it is a lovely stock and I'm well pleased with it. Other than that, the whole rifle is more or less as standard. I've done a little bit of work with the trigger, polishing the sear and the sears and that. But other than that, it's more or less standard. On top, the scope, I've got an MTC Viper 10 by 44, fixed magnification, because I intend to use it for HFT work. Great scope, I'm generally pleased with it, but like a lot of these things, I think there can always be improvements. It's a little bit of a problem at 8 yards being massively out of focus, and at 48 yards being massively out of focus when I set the parallax to around 22 yards, which I find is about okay, is okay as a mean. Everything from 15 to 35 yards is reasonably sharp. Okay, a lot of people say that gives you a chance to actually range find in that, which, okay, that's great, but it's no good if you can't see the target as such. But other than that, like I say, everything is pretty much a standard. This particular rifle, at 68 degrees, as a temperature of 68 degrees, it gives me around about 11.3 foot-pounds. When you go nearer to the point of freezing, it's then going down to around about 10.5 foot-pounds, which is a little bit of a concern. But maybe in the future I'll look at getting a regulator or getting it blueprinted. That will possibly sort that problem out. I have a DG scope enhancer on there which I fitted, which I tend to prefer. I like being able to look down a totally dark tube as such. Not everybody's favourite thing, but they certainly work for me. I think that was £10 from BAR. The actual custom stock itself ended up costing me in total, with the PayPal charges that I had to pay, around about £380. You pay for these things in euros. They accept either bank transfer or via PayPal. PayPal worked out a little bit cheaper, so I went for that option. And it took around about 8 days to actually be delivered once the payment had cleared. Communication from GinB was very, very good. Can't knock them on that. The packaging was excellent. The stock arrived in very, very good condition, so that was fantastic as well. It'd be nice to actually, I haven't had a chance yet to get this rifle out and do any HFT with it yet. I'm still in the process of setting it all up. I've more or less got the zero now, but I want to make sure I've got everything absolutely perfect before I use it in HFT. And yeah, but overall very, very pleased with the whole setup.